Hello soul friends, this is Miriam and welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a pile reading is all about the last 5 months of the year, or the last 5 months of the year. I apologize for the ticking you're going to hear occasionally and that little movement that you're going to see there. That's my ceiling fan. It is hot where I live. So we've got a lot of decks to introduce. Remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice because they love you, or it is just your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. And no matter how you look at that, it's healthy and you are in the right place. So let's go ahead and introduce all of these awesome piles and decks that we're going to be using today. We're also going to be using a lot of oracle decks in each pile. So you are getting one tarot deck per reading, per pile, and then all of you will get a variety of these other oracle decks in each reading, regardless of which pile that you choose. So for pile one, we have this. I have no idea what it is. It's a weird colored stone. It might be like a strawberry quartz, but don't quote me on that. This is definitely some kind of jasper for pile number 2. Ooh, that side's really interesting. Pile number 3 is Dalmatian jasper. I can tell just by looking at it. Pile 4, I have no idea what this is. No clue, y'all. It's got some definite interesting designs to it. Let me know in the comments if you know what this stone is. Alrighty. And pile 5, it's going to take me forever and a day to get through all of these. Alrighty. So there are your piles. If you want to skip all the decks that I'm about to introduce, go right ahead. In no particular order, this deck right here is... oh, it's very flashy. It's very foiled with gold. This is a small business seller, so I will put her information in the description box. If I don't put the information from the boxes that you see in the intro in the description box, it's because they can be found anywhere where tarot decks are mass sold. So this is this one right here. An idea of what you're looking for. Another small seller right here. That's these. Just like my new favorite deck. I've been using it quite constantly. This is an Etsy seller. I'll put information in the description box for this as well. Also a smaller seller. This is a gift deck to me. This is this one right here. Excellent cards, very nice quality. They have different kinds of tarot decks. Here's all their information. And last but not least, out of these, that's this one right here. This is a pretty popular deck. I've seen it used a lot in videos. Alrighty, now let's move on to our oracle decks. We're going to be using both of these. This one's brand new. Here are their corresponding backs. Yes. And then we'll also be drawing from these. These cards don't have any interpretations for the most part, as far as I can tell. Yeah, no like guidebooks or words on them. It's just your own interpretation on what they look like. So I always say with these, go off of what you see and feel, not what I see and feel, even though I do provide descriptions. And then the backs of those cards look like this. Onto this. All right, we'll see you in your individual readings. Take care. Bye, 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 bye. All right, group number 1. So if you picked this group, this stone, this deck of cards, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start actually with some energy to see what you're leaving behind. And we're going to get a lot of cards today. Okay. And if we have to layer them, we're just going to layer them. I'm like, if, not if. When. And don't worry, I will smush them together as we go. There's so many. How fun. Now we'll do this. Okay. I can't believe how quiet my ceiling fan is being. Oh my. They don't want us to show that stuff. Some days, all days, most days. Okay. Alrighty. We're gonna go with that right here. Alright. We're just gonna go one at a time here. Alright, so with this first card, I feel like leaving something behind. This card very much feels like you're saying goodbye to someone, or like an aspect of self in some cases. In other cases, it's some of you actually leaving a person behind. What else? I feel like this is necessary in all aspects, even if it's an aspect of yourself. I feel like it's something that needed to happen for you. There we go. It's like, why won't it focus? This is a new camera. I'm trying my best. I just watched a whole tutorial on it. I'm no camera-ateer. Get it? They're like, no. Is there something to get? Not really. But yeah, I feel like something's being left behind in that sense of like a part of yourself or a whole person is being left behind in your life, but it's something that was necessary. I am also seeing a great deal of solar plexus and third eye chakra energy. It's centered in the third eye, but a lot of this is coming up with your solar plexus color here. And so it seems to me like some of you really have a lot of solar plexus work that you're doing. A lot of that work does center in the mind to a certain extent. And some of you have a very vibrant, probably all of you have a very vibrant third eye situation going on. And so you can't help but mix the two. I also see some sacral energy in there, that orange color. So some of you might be having a little boost in your sacral energy. I also see for the leaving behind energy this look of fear on this person's face. And it almost looks like they're running away from something. Or turning away from something. What else? I'm just listening. Hello. Like, I also feel like somebody laying in bed and having like fears mounting in their mind. Sort of like that solar plexus is about courage and this idea of like getting strong in the mind as well as in the stomach. And this idea of like sleeping more sound, not running away from something. Okay, I feel like that's also in your leaving behind energy. And remember with these cards, take what I say with a grain of salt if something speaks to you more loudly than me. Then just go with that, because there is no book for these. I'm just going off of what I see. I also see you kind of looking at shadow self unflinchingly, and leaving behind this idea of flinching away. Yes, yes. What else? With this card that has some, I don't know if it's bad. I don't even know. It's like not really showing anything, but you know. I feel like Phoenix vibes. I feel like rising from the ashes. Okay. I feel like you're doing a lot of self-reflecting. Again, I see that flowering of the third eye. So I do see a lot of leaving behind just things that don't serve you and moving forward from that. Okay. And so over the next 5 months, can you believe that? In just 5 months, it'll be January. We'll be like Christmas time. What the heck? What is happening? So anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get some more cards about what we're leaving behind. This deck is getting retired for the season. Ooh. Ooh. Hang on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and look and see what else you are leaving behind as you move into the last 5 months of the year, which is insane to think about. I keep saying that. Doing that old person thing. Mulch and manure. Number 26, hardships are coming to an end. The seeds you sowed will be blooming soon. Excellent. We'll keep on cruising here. Sun wheel, number 42. Make sure to catch your breath. You are in for an unexpected journey. Whenever I see the spiral, I think of change coming into someone's life. With the sun, I always think of joy and good fortune. Rewild, number 29. Let your soul's garden grow wild, setting yourself free and allowing mysteries to surprise you. Oh, she's really getting all cray-cray. All right. So letting your wild side out. I'll move those pens here in just a moment. Ooh, here we go. Butterflies, number 2. Here in the unknown, you will find the essence of who you really are and what magic awaits. So I see like transformation vibes there. There we go. Alrighty. Stargazing number 33. It takes a lot of courage to reach for the stars, to expand the self, but it is possible. Very cute. I think of teachers when I see that. I think of all those little inspirational teacher sayings that they hang on walls, you know. Let's say things like, aim for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars, you know. I don't know. Scavenger hunt number 32. What you thought was hidden is hiding in plain sight. So some of you might have been reeling from a hidden thing that came out, is what I'm hearing with this one. I feel like some of you are moving forward from that and leaving it behind. I feel like a lot of you are transforming. These hardships are coming to an end, and you're being encouraged to get wild if you haven't already. Okay. Explore the unknown and reach for unknown successes, you know. I feel like the star card where it's like you might be, what am I trying to say? You might not be aiming high enough. Does that make sense? You might actually be able to accomplish more than what you even have, and you probably have already accomplished a lot. Snapskis, that's right. A card fell out for you already. Way back when we started this. Ooh, hydration. Some of you need to drink some waters. Number 20. There's more to the story than meets the eye. Be mindful of what hides beneath the surface. Yes, I feel like that goes right along with that hidden in plain sight. I feel like some of you ended up like figuring something out and you were like, aha, I should have known all along, you know, that kind of energy. And you're just moving forward from that. Whereas some people would have taken it as like more of a slap to the face. And like it probably was. I'm not minimizing. Oop, hang on. Okay, moving on from that, let's look and see what's coming towards you in the next months. Between now and Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Let's keep going. Yes. Yep. Okay. Let's look and see what we've got. We have the High Priestess. And the Page of Cups. I'm going to keep going. Five of Wands. And the Hanged Man. We also have Temperance. Six of Cups. And the shadow side, I believe that's the Devil in tarot, traditional style. Okay. Well, let's talk about it. Alrighty. I feel like in the next 5 months, over that course of time, you're going to get some intuition downloads with this High Priestess energy. You're going to be trusting yourself more is what I'm hearing the most. I feel like trusting yourself at work, trusting yourself with relationships, trusting yourself with adulting is what it feels like, okay? And that's wonderful. I feel like that very strongly is going to help in like a practical way in your life. So quite beautiful energy there coming up for the rest of this year. I also see with the Page of Cups, that's having fun with friends, really just enjoying yourself. Just being a happy-go-lucky camper, okay? Having like childlike joy, okay? Sorry for the wiggling. I keep tapping my camera to get it to sharpen up. All right, so I see that coming. If you don't have a lot of socializing going on, that could pick up for a lot of you in the coming months with that Page of Cups. If not, it speaks to a newfound joyful, what do you want to call it? Newfound joyful emotional fulfillment. Yes, yes. I see some work, place, or family conflict coming up, but I also see you maintaining your distance from that however you see fit. Okay, taking a different perspective, staying well and far away from it. I feel like these two cards were very much connected when they came out for y'all. So if you see a crowd gathering, just move the other way. That's always the best advice I have for anyone that sees a crowd forming. Okay. I see balance coming into your life during this time with the Temperance card. If some of you are dealing with like injury or illness, healing is possible at this time. So don't give up hope. All right. Keep on plugging forward. Stay out of the rat race with people. I also see with that the nice joy of childhood. I also see some of you reconnecting with siblings, reconnecting with some like old childhood connections of some type. Those could be romantic for some, platonic for others. It just depends. I feel like some of you might visit a childhood home between now and January. And then I also see some of you giving up something that's been keeping you chained in some way, giving up something that doesn't serve you in some way. I feel like for some of you, we talked about giving up like a person or giving up some kind of negative energy, some kind of, realizing that there was some kind of hidden situation and it came to light. I feel like you're not going to be able to ignore that same truth finding or truth seeking that you acquired during that learning cycle, that it's going to carry through into this one. For some of you, somebody that you weren't expecting to come back is going to come back, like maybe an ex. Remember, if it's somebody negative that became part of your past for a reason, don't buy their pretty stories that they tell you, okay? You know what I'm talking about. Do I want some more tarot? I kinda do. I'm feeling all of this right here. King of Cups, interesting. Two of Wands in reverse, I feel. Nine of Pentacles. Three of Wands. And the Six of Wands. Okay. For some of you, I feel gross, some romance vibes in the coming months. I feel like for some of you that are leaving a relationship behind in some cases, that, Ten of Wands in reverse. Sorry, I said Two of Wands earlier. Silly me. Okay. I feel like some of you are going to stay single in place of taking on the burden of being with somebody new. okay? Because it doesn't fit into the plans that you've created for yourself. And if that's the case, it's okay to rock that. I see victory for you, okay? For some of you, I feel like you're going to feel the relief of burden with a current relationship or a new relationship. Just a sec. Okay, where was I? I keep getting so rudely interrupted. I'm just kidding. Okay. So I feel like for some of you that are walking away from like a connection with someone, that it's like this totally clear-headed decision that you're making, and that it's a conscious decision that feels good. If that's the case, it's a victory. It feels like you're freeing yourself. In other cases, it feels like you are feeling like a fulfillment with a partner, but at the same time still retaining independence and feeling victory and feeling free as well. I feel like for some of you that might be like letting go of some trust issues. I feel for others it's like letting go of, I don't know, feeling like you have to be together all the time. I feel like for some. What else? Is this just for romance? I feel like it is. Like this whole extra little spread was just a gross little romance spread. I'm like, is there anything work related or anything at all for the next 5 months for people that don't want to listen to that gross stuff? I always think of relationships. I think it can always be jobs that you're walking away from or jobs that you're like relaxing into. The Nine of Pentacles can always be about finances improving as well as getting some well-earned independence for yourself. What else? Art. I almost want to grab a few more before we get into what you're moving towards. Oh, yes, the Empress. It's all about abundance, baby. It's good stuff. Okay. We also have, yes, the Ace of Wands. It's all about new inspiration, a new dawn, light coming on in the darkness. New passions, new inspirations, new jobs. Yes. An Ace of Cups, all about abundance as well. Overflowing joy, overflowing abundance, overflowing emotional contentment. Yes. Okay. Moving right along. Let's look and see what's coming towards you in the next 5 months for the rest of this year. Ew, look. I see you having good thoughts about the people around you, or continuing to have good thoughts even if people around you are not having good thoughts. Remember that conflict card we saw earlier, and staying away from all that yucky stuff. Yes, I see you owning yourself, owning your own essence. I definitely feel some sacral and solar plexus and root chakra energy from this card. So what else? I feel this one. Ooh. I get hermit card vibes from this. I feel like some of you are literally going to climb a mountain. For others, yeah, there's this face down here. I feel like there's some kind of unexpected love coming towards some of you in the next coming months. If it's not love, it's some kind of a match in your career or a match in the workplace. When you start avoiding that conflict stuff, you might actually, and like letting your true self shine, you might actually find like your true like soul people is what I'm feeling there. Okay, I'm gonna actually shuffle some more. Okay. Ooh. Look at this egg. And all these arms. I feel a lot of enlightenment energy coming towards you. So I feel this one too. Ooh. Look at this, like, it reminds me of, like, that green fairy drink, absinthe. I don't know why that's popping into my mind. I'm feeling these two as well. Okay, moving along. Okay. Yikes skis. So many, like, sneaky pictures. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I feel like this, like, birthing of new ideas, birthing of new relationships, a birthing of, yourself. You know what I mean? Like, just, like, doing your own thing and just, like, owning it. I really like that energy for you. And then, yeah, like, it doesn't matter if you end up, totally being alone. You don't mind because you're moving forward. I love that. Okay. Also, let's see. What's coming towards you in the next few months? 5 months. County Fair, number 13. Summon the strength to reach out and discover the unity of community around you. Yeah, I do feel some community vibes. I feel like true soul community vibes, like leaving petty community people behind. I also feel that some of you might actually be getting involved in some kind of county fair business this year. If you're watching this around county fair time, which I am filming this around county fair time. Okay, I'm feeling some of these that are poking out, so we're just going to grab them as I feel them. Fennel, number 19. There is nothing to fear. Trust that everything will work itself out. Aww. Yeah, I do feel like for some of you that are, like, bursting with this new idea energy, that, like, sometimes it can be scary. I feel like some of you might be leaving behind, like, relationships, jobs, maybe family or people or habits that were not serving you anymore. And so sometimes that can feel isolating and scary. Really great at this censorship thing. I tell you what. All right. Moving right along. Oh, these ones. Most definitely. Okay. Alrighty. A flower bouquet, number 20. Savor presence with life and notice the magic living in small moments. Yeah, I really feel like that goes along with the, like, county fair thing, like having that little, like, simple pleasures of, like, community involvement, charity, getting involved in some way, even just showing up to a charitable event in some, like, like a support group that you haven't been to in years, or like I don't know, like maybe you went to a grief support group like years and years ago and you don't really grieve as hard as you used to, so you don't go to it anymore. You can help somebody out that's fresh. You know what I mean? Same thing with, like, substance recovery, etc., county fairs, doing, like, good works, etc. I see, like, that whole, like, just showing up and being a helpful presence can be enough. All right. We also have vegetable garden number 41. It's time to check in with and reflect on the seeds you have planted. Yeah, I feel like some of you are getting some reward energy for good things you've done. Ooh, weeds, number 42. Neglecting to address the weeds within will prevent you from abundantly receiving. I feel like some of you just need to organize your house. For others, it's more metaphorical than that. Like, organize your house, meaning, like, deal with your, like, issues, you know. For some of you, I feel like it's just needing to actually like weed your garden or, you know, do your spring cleaning in the late summer or whatever. I don't know. Okay. Garden tools number 23. You must summon the courage and strength to acquire the resources you need. Yeah, I feel like some of you are a little bit nervous or scared. I feel like for some of you that I'm getting that energy from, that is you leaving something behind, like a person or a job or a place or a lifestyle. Okay. And you're moving forward. I keep seeing this like image, and I know that it's a lot of it is just the cards that we're using, but this image of like a person leaving everything behind and like moving out to the country where nobody knows them and like living a simpler life. All right. I feel that energy of just finding a quieter, simpler, more beautiful time for yourself. I feel some more tarot calling, so we're just going to go ahead and grab these. Yeah, Four of Swords. Rest up while you can, okay? You do have some, like, big change coming towards you. And yeah, you're going to do well. You are in uncharted territory, a lot of you. Your heartache will heal, all right? This card is always hard to see, but I always take it as a sign that it's a healing card. That's already happened, and now there's just healing to happen. Same thing with Ten of Swords. The worst is over, and you're just moving forward from here. That's interesting. Because I think of those two cards as very similar in their energy. Can I have one more of these, please? Thank you. Ooh, Leo. Interesting. Number 29. To deny your heart's joy is to deny nourishment to your spirit. Some of you really need to get wild and embrace your true selves. That's what I'm hearing with that one. Okay, that's all I have for you. If this was helpful, go ahead and tell me how in the comment section. If you would like to give me topic ideas, go ahead and give me them there as well. If you would like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. We will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye, 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 bye. Hello, hello, pile 2. So if you pick this heart, we're going to get into your reading all about what is going to happen in the next 5 months. For the rest of the year, if you're watching this in August. So we're going to start with some oracle, just to get some ideas on energy that you are leaving behind you. I'm just going to grab out what feels right to me. Oh my, and it's going to be one of those days where you get lots of cards. Just going to put these on over. If I see one that has nudities, I'll do my best to try to cover them with things. There we go. And then as we get more cards, I cover them up as we go. Alright, I guess I'll look at these off camera. My goodness. Nikki's everywhere. You really even see what that is. I'll describe it to you as we go. Oh, look, finally. Oh, good. Okay. Good. Kind of nudish. Kind of. We'll just, be better safe than sorry. When I was a teacher, I used to have to cover things up when we were watching movies, but I taught, like, 18-year-old children. So it got really silly really fast because they were all watching way crazier stuff on their own time. But if it was like beyond PG, we had to cover it on a... Alright, so I feel like things that you're leaving behind. This despair feeling, this like headless figure, and this like screaming face over here. But then there's this rainbow. I feel like you're getting to this end of this feeling afraid for some reason, which is interesting because pile 1 also had similar energy that they were leaving behind, of this like sort of fearful, leaving fear behind energy. Yes, yes. I also, interesting, see a similar energy that they were also leaving behind. I do see some health stuff going on here. So take that as that resonates. But with this fire in the belly and then fire in the third eye, I'm also seeing a connection with solar plexus and third eye energy. And I saw that in pile 1 as well. So you might want to check out pile 1. This card here, if I move it down a little bit, you can see it a little bit better, is a person holding a torch. I feel like if you're holding a torch for something, you're letting that go, and it's a good thing. I feel like there might have been something you were holding a torch for, and it was a noble thing to do, but you also realize that there's times to like let things go and move on. I'm also seeing you moving on from like maybe more than one person in some instances. Oh, I see some people speaking their truth. I also see some people just like embracing just that dark void within, or just like embracing the idea of like, I am not okay, and just like letting the whole world know. I also feel like this reminds me a lot of that album, The Wall, by a band. First name, A Color, last name Floyd, anyway. And then I also see like leaving behind like something that felt heavy in your heart. And like letting that go is like liberating you. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Spirit. As we move forward. Okay. Let me start squishing these together now. Covering up the naughty bits as we go. Because new cards are going to have to come in anyway. Okay. Alright, let's see what else we're leaving behind as we move forward for the rest of this year or the next 5 months, whenever you happen to watch. I feel these, but I also feel these. Ooh. Hello, hello. I feel you. I feel you. Okay. Feel these guys. There's a lot. Starting off. Clear quartz, number 5. The embrace of the shadows is gently lifting. Light is needed now to nourish you. Oh my. Okay, yes. Some of you are moving out of a dark time indeed. Alright, we're going to cover up these naughty bits. This next card, paper boats. Stay afloat and don't tilt too much. A lesson awaits you. I feel like some of you have gained some cleverness in moving forward, like embracing shadow aspects and learning about yourself because you embraced shadow. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Next we have Sunset Dinner number 39. An invitation awaits you. Yell to the stars that you are ready to go. I feel like for some of you, an invitation awaits you and you're saying absolutely no. That you don't want to go, okay? Or that you're telling someone to go. I'm feeling that for some. For others, I feel like sunset dinner means that the sun is setting on something. That's what I'm feeling there. Okay, moving along. I'm going to move this little duck. Okay. Lightworker 23. The transmutation of shadow is needed. Uh-oh. Be right back. Okay, moving along. I'm gonna grab... Here they are. I was like, where did the cards go that I had for you? Okay. We have number 30, Roses. The soft petal felt upon your flesh is ready to release her thorns. Oh. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like some might be getting out of relationships. Some might be leaving behind toxic situation of some kind, a toxic workplace, a toxic relationship, a toxic family, friend group. You fill in the gaps where you need. Or crafting 17, allow your roots to dive into the depths. Your spirit calls for grounding. I feel like for some of you, you're kind of like breaking away from like a family ideal and finding something more root-ish. For example, I had family that was very Christian, but then I found out they were actually more like born-again Christians, and I have no idea what anybody was before that, you know, other than just what countries they were from. And so, anywho, I started getting into a deeper root or a more ancient faith that was different from the one that I grew up in. So anyway, that reminded me of that. That's just an example I was going to give. Wand making number 43. With a flick of focus, you will come to see a vision realized. Yes, I feel like, yeah, this idea of like connecting to roots that are deeper than what you were originally brought up to see in some cases. What else? There's so much coming through. And so many different things. Yeah, like letting something go and feeling that like free. Doesn't help that this keeps happening. Okay, so anywho, where was I? Yes. What else were we talking about? Relationships ending, jobs ending, things ending. Hello, Sullivan. I don't know if you could hear Sullivan. Oh. I hear my fan up there clicking. Hang on. So sometimes my ceiling fan clicks and sometimes it does not. And now it does not because it's off, which means it's going to get quite hot. Anyway, we'll try to move as quickly as we can. Okay. That all being said, what else do we want to say about these cards right here? What else? I love this shadow work aspect because it's something about like your dark side that you're like embracing. It's also an aspect of self that you're embracing. Look at all these butterflies. All this change. Let's look at some tarot. What's coming up in the next 5 months. Let's get these out there. I'd like some more, please. Yes. Starting off with the moon. I'm not going to go ahead and flip these out as we go. We have the 6 of Wands. The Empress. Justice. The Star. Excellent. And the Ace of... Yeah, that looks like Pentacles, but I'm going to say Wands because I know that the Ace of Pentacles is much more pentacle-y. Ah ha ha. Okay, moving along. So have the 10 of Wands. The Eight of Pentacles and the Awakening. Okay, so starting off with the Moon, I see like fear of the future, fear of moving forward, fear of trusting, fear of things you can't see. But at the same time, I also see victory with the Six of Wands. Six of Wands also talks about being admired. So does the Empress. The Empress is also about abundance. Glow up time. All right. Good stuff. With adjustment or justice, I see balance come into your life. Same thing with the Star. The Star also goes along with being recognized. Also goes along with victory. Also goes along with healing. With the Ace of Wands, I also see like new inspiration coming into your life. New opportunities. I see burden coming to an end. Being rewarded for hard work. And then possibly even getting a second chance in some area or some area of your life. Something coming to life when you thought it was over. So that's also something to look forward to. Okay, let's see what else we've got in the next 5 months. Oh yes, Ace of Cups. That's always about abundance, joy. Your cup runneth over. The High Priestess. You can trust your intuition over the next 5 months. The Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady wins the race. The payoff is usually bigger. That goes along well with the Eight of Pentacles. And ooh, the Power card. Number 11. Which one is that again? Durate Strength. Okay. Makes sense. Oh, my Lanta. Okay. What else about Judgment? Second chances. Something springing back to life you thought was over. Answering to a higher calling. What else? Rawr. Okay. I think I'm ready to move on. You're like, thank God. Okay, let's look and see what's coming towards you. Interesting, that also came up for pile 1. They don't really have any like defining features, but I don't know what they want me to do. Okay. I see like fertility with like the Empress vibes again. I see like yeah, world in the palm of your hands kind of energy. I also see like coming into your own, owning your own oh lordy, what's the word? Your own security. Blossoming with ideas in your mind, perhaps. What else? And remember, with the soul cards, always take your own interpretation over mine. Ooh, I see downloads in your future. What else? I feel this one. Yeah, I see you like taking solace in your own like wisdom and your own strengths. Protecting yourself from others. Yeah, and taking flight. Just good times. Okay. Well, let's see what else we have to learn. What else is coming towards you? Oh my. Dried Flowers, number 15. Take solace in knowing that the end of a journey marks the dawning of a new one. Yeah, I remember we were talking about things coming to an end and starting new things. Garland. Oh my wordy. Alright, we also have Garland, number 24. There is magic in the weaving of unity. I feel like some of you are like moving into a new place and like decorating it and making it your own. I feel that as well. I also feel prayers to the earth. 34, become present with the blessings you already have. May gratitude fill your heart. Yeah, I feel like when we've lost, sometimes it does help to feel gratitude from time to time about the things we still have. Not to discount anything that you've lost. Summer Games, number 36. When fear rears its head, no need to be wary. Lean in, you're at the edge of evolving. Oh man, I get full of vibes from this card. The Fool card in tarot. Hello. Iced Tea, number 28. Lean in to your soul's pull and to listen to its whispers to nurture yourself. Self-love, baby. Yes, over the next few months. I feel like going to college vibes. I feel some people moving to a new place vibes. We're just starting over vibes. Another one. Bakery, number 1. Take the time to diligently practice and refine your craft. Success will follow as you savor each little victory along the way. Some of you, I feel like, might be going to a bakery school of some kind. Interesting. What else we got? Fruit Jam, 21. If you nurture it, it will flourish. The grass is greener where you water it. I feel like finding your jam is something that I'm hearing. Ooh, Sunburst, number 37. Embrace your inner light and share it with the world, inspiring others to do the same. Yes, I feel like some of you are really stepping into your own power. I want to get some more tarot for you. All right, we have Goddess of the Earth, meaning Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, the Devil. Two of Wands. The Magician. Ooh, and the Fool of Initiation in this case. Nice. Interesting. Okay, so I feel like in a lot of cases, in the next 5 months, for the rest of this year, if you're watching at the end of the year, or the mid-year, like in August, like I'm filming right now, I'm seeing like some giving energy coming towards you from the universe. We saw the Empress vibes earlier as well, but I'm feeling like with you that either a giving person is coming into your life or you're just going to become giving to yourself. We also saw a lot of self-love going on. I feel a lot of shedding of negativity, negative people, things that don't serve you. The world is your oyster. You have plans that are starting to take shape. You have the ability to make those plans take shape, and your guides are showing you that you have the ability to do this well. They have your back. Everything is okay to take a leap of faith at this time. If you're in something new in the next coming months, don't fret. You are doing great, and you will do great. Okay, that is what I have for you. If this was helpful, go ahead and tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. We will see you with the next one, my friends. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile 3. So if you picked the Dalmatian Jasper and whatever the heck this deck was, you're going to have to go back to the intro to see the name. I always show the box in the intros. I actually wasn't going to do these yet, but let's talk about Temperance for a second since that came out. Temperance is all about healing and balance and finding like a nice swing to life. So that's a wonderful thing to see. I'm going to keep this right up over here for a minute. And we're going to start with what is coming towards you. No, I lied. We're going to start with what you are moving away from. Haha, okay. Sorry, it's a whole new day. I'm a whole different person from when I started this video. And this is the second time I'm recording this because for some reason my brand new phone, which I now figured out how to get the camera to focus in on the cards better, decided to freeze up in the middle of recording our other video and did not save our other video. So that was awesome. So let's see what we're leaving behind as we move into the last 5 months of the year, meaning that right now it's about August. And we're just going to flip these over and see where we go. These are the things you're leaving behind or moving away from. Whew, okay. I'll pick them up and show you them as we go. We're going to get a lot of cards today. Okay. So the first thing I'm seeing is like, it almost looks like this person's like underwater or about to go underwater to me. Always go with your intuition on these soul cards because these don't have any interpretation. It's all up to you what you want to see. If you hear my ceiling fan clacking or the whirring is bothering you, I apologize in advance. It's really hot, y'all. We're just going to have to push through. Like I said, it's August. All right, but it looks like reaching up or like, I feel like you're letting go of things that made you feel like you were drowning for the first half of the year. That's pretty intense. Okay, I lied. I can't listen to that. I'm going to go turn the fan off. Okay. So, yeah, something that made you feel like you were drowning. Maybe you were taking on too much. Maybe, I've been getting such a sense of like spring cleaning vibes, even though it's in the dead of summer and everybody feels like they're going to die because it's literally hot, like in a lot of places, especially in the US right now. It's super hot. There might be a few places that are like, it's unseasonably cold, but wherever you are, just be happy that it's unseasonably cold where you are, because everywhere else it's quite seasonably hot right now. And where I live, everything is on fire. It's awesome. So we get to smoke and we get to bake all at the same time. We're going to have a nice smoky flavor when they're done with us this summer. Okay, moving right along. So this drowning sensation or this feeling of like taking on too much, I actually see like actually maybe asking for help or reaching up or cutting some stuff out that is unmanageable in your life. Hang on, my cat's growling. Poor kitty. She was scared of somebody being at the door, but there was nobody there. Or was there? Dun, 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 dun. Just got so dramatic. So effing dramatic. Okay, moving along. Let's look at our next card here. And I apologize every time the phone is going to jiggle every time I focus because I have to tap the screen and I'm holding this camera up by a very silly mechanism that isn't used to hold up cameras. You know how it goes. Okay. I see this like, don't get me wrong, like the visage, the visage of this person, their face is very beautiful. I feel like some of you in this pile are good looking. Okay. If you don't think that you are, you at least put a lot of work into your appearance and how you present yourself, okay? And I feel like some of you are leaving that behind. Like but in like a liberating, healthy way of like, I don't have to worry about my eyebrows being just to go to the stupid grocery store. Nobody does their eyebrows for me there. See what I'm saying? That kind of energy. It feels healthy. It feels good. So I feel like leaving aside like this needing to have it all put together all the time and being just very, free. Like just not sweating the small stuff. You know, that stuff weighs you down. If it feels like it's weighing you down, just go ahead and cut loose, is what I'm hearing there. What else do we have here? What else are we letting go of? Oh, I see. This is giving me this feeling of leaving behind this thing of like things festering inside of you. I feel like maybe some of you have a tendency or had a tendency to I do this. One little thing that somebody says, a look, you don't even think about it at first. And then throughout the course of the day, you're like, oh, I feel like that was disrespectful. What did they mean by that? Okay. And maybe they did mean something. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like in the grand scheme of things, we should let it go. I'm saying we because I do this more than anybody else I know. And I'm projecting all over your cards. But this is what popped into my head is like this idea of something festering inside of you and letting it take over everything slowly and surely over time and it making you cry a little bit and making you sad. But here's what I see you doing instead for the rest of the year is this idea of fostering and planting new seeds that grow abundance and joy, mostly joy, okay? Which is very nice. What else do we have? I feel like you're also leaving behind like two-faced people or people that say things to each other about you when you're not around. And just like cutting dead weight. Like I feel like a bunch of you are maybe going through and just like really evaluating your like friends lists. And being like, I ain't friends with this person. I don't even know who this is. Why are they here? You know what I mean? And just getting rid of it. All you see are ads anyway. I don't see anything from anybody who's real anymore. So why not go in there and cut out the dead weight of like, you know, or maybe like people that you tolerated that you never really liked that you don't actually have to really like tolerate having in your feed. Okay. Or having in your, I don't know, in your thoughts. I feel like some of you are just cutting out like this, like need to worry about these guys is what I'm feeling there. What else have we got? Oh, and yeah, I feel like you're like tired of like doing things and surrounding yourself with people or situations that almost kind of make you feel wounded all the time. And I feel you leaving that behind as well. Oof, that got deep real quick. Who's picking on you? That's not cool. Yeah, leaving behind feeling invisible. My goodness. Okay, interesting. But I also feel like you're not like out vying for attention either. Like you're not out shouting from the rooftops or anything like that. Congratulations, you're the first pile that got cards that didn't have any nudity in them. It's the conservative crowd here. They all gasp, nudity? No. Yes, it happened. I tried to cover them up as quickly as I could. A lot of times art, you know, has a lot of nudity in it. This one's kind of nude, but everything's kind of shadowed, so you can't really see any definition. It looks like she's wearing clothes to me. All right. So leaving behind a lot of stuff. Very nice. And what did we talk about before with healing? Like letting go of like things that no longer serve you. Yeah, cha-cha. I feel happy and excited for you about that. Let's see what else you're leaving behind. Or moving on from as you finish off this fabulous year. Hasn't it been fabulous? Number 1 bike ride. It is in the stillness and presence of the journey that you will find yourself exactly where you need to be. Yes, I like that you're like going with the flow, my pile, whatever you are. Group 3, whatever the heck it is. Ooh, country cottage. Look, it looks like the same person. feel like some of you are pretty people with dark hair. Country cottage number 7. It is time for the seeker to look within. What haunts you can only be faced by you. Oh my. Yes, I feel like you're like almost taking like this inward journey of not only cutting things out of your life that don't serve you anymore and people, but this journey of growing new things inside of you, having your own little oasis in your head where things are like, okay. And if there was a card ready to come out there, I just shuffled it back in. Let's see what we got next. Ooh, mermaid. We got this one before. Let the allure of the mythical siren seduce your curiosity. Magic awaits. Yes, I feel like as you're moving towards this like newfound like freedom within yourself, that you're going to discover new things about yourself that you never knew, new strengths that you never had before, or that you were aware of before. Oh, sunbathing number 36. The dance of stillness is calling for you to live in its embrace. I feel like you cutting out all this dead weight energy is really going to make room for a lot of self-care for you. And for you, I feel like it's absolutely necessary to take that time. I feel like some of you really need to feel comfortable with being alone and actually letting yourself enjoy it. I feel that. What else do I feel? And like being still and letting yourself enjoy that. Some of you might not be able to be alone. You might be surrounded by people all the time. If that's the case, being still and learning to enjoy that, like not having to feel like you have to justify everything that you say. You know, like the other day, like I was dealing with a pharmacist. And like he already had an attitude. And he already just expected I was going to have an attitude already. And because I wasn't all sunshine and rainbows when I walked up, like he had already made up his mind about me. And I just decided in that minute that I wasn't going to fake smile my way through that situation, that he had already made up his mind and he was just going to have to deal with the bee he was looking at. You see what I'm saying? And usually I'm super sugary sweet to pharmacists, but not today. Summer berries. I feel like some of you need to bake a pie. There's magic in baking. Number 34. Be wary of picking your harvest too early and risking losing the sweetness of it all. Yes, I feel like that stillness message is still coming through for like letting things go, of like letting go of that past stuff, letting go of movement, of needing to control things, of needing to feel like you are doing something. I also do this. I feel like if I'm not doing something, that I'm just like this huge failure. When really, by not doing things, we can minimize a lot of damage. Especially if we do crazy things. Not that you do crazy things. Not that I do crazy things. I'm just talking about generalities here. Getting your card that just flew out of there. Ooh, pretty. The sun wheel number 42. Make sure to catch your breath. You are in for an unexpected journey. Again, that stillness feels like a message of like, take your breaks while you can now. I feel like some of you are in this really like unfathomable place of recovery right now. Some of you might have actually gone through like a really serious illness or a serious loss or a serious like wagon haul is what I call them, when you give up something that's huge, okay, like a substance or a lifestyle or a friggin' family member or a relationship. Gross, you know, all that stuff. I feel like some of you have gone through like an unfathomable like shift that you can't ever go back to where you were before anyway. And so now you're just focusing on what you need to do to move forward. And your guides are saying that's exactly what you need to do to heal. Okay, I'm going to get you some tarot now. More tarot for you. Why don't we put Temperance right there? We're going to cover it up in 5 seconds again anyway. And this card is feeling cardish to me. 2 of Swords. Yes, again, stillness. Don't make any moves just yet. You are still healing is what I'm hearing. Interesting. So, like, I know that you've probably been, like, healing maybe for, like, the last 7 months and for the last part of the... Oop, just a minute. Okay, so I'm seeing with this 2 of Swords that you are yeah, still being encouraged not to make any moves yet, to bask in stillness. It just reminded me of like a message I got from my guides. This was months ago, but it was right before a major shift in my life was taking place, and I was kind of sitting around feeling sorry for myself and, you know, feeling like things weren't taking off the way they needed to or whatever at that time. And like my guides had told me, like, don't beat yourself up for sitting and doing nothing right now. You're going to need the rest for when things really do take off. And then pretty soon after that, they did take off and get really busy. And I was grateful that I rested and didn't move, is what I was trying to make a point there. Let's see. I like these cards that are coming out. Okay. So it's there for a minute while we catch up here. Ace of Pentacles, yes. They're showing that stillness being very necessary for you to rest and heal up. Even though I feel like you've been healing for like 7 months in some cases. And some of you that's physical, some of you it's emotional, right? Mental in some cases, right? A combo of all of those. They're saying you need that for this new beginning that's coming towards you in the next 5 months. So things are going to get, momentum is picking up over the next 5 months. The rest of this year is looking to be pretty busy, like all these lightning flashes and like charging in, lots of fast communication, lots of new beginnings, lots of momentum picking up. Yes, Knight of Cups. Offers coming in, nice offers towards you. So that could be job offers, it could be a person offering something that you needed from them, like commitment, or, you know, maybe they just stopped being a stupid jerk face for 2 whole seconds. That wasn't actually connected to anybody that's watching this right now. Maybe it is. Somebody out there is like, oh, I felt that was for me. 2 of Wands. Yes, the world is your oyster. You're just getting started, is what I'm hearing. This rest and recovery was necessary to be able to embark on the next 5 months. I feel like things are going really, really fast as you move forward in the rest of this year. So like for some of you, I feel like there might be somebody starting like college, or going back to school, or starting a new job, or starting a new relationship, making a move, all that fun stuff, changing careers. That's all part of what I'm feeling. What else do we have here? 10 of Swords. Yeah, the worst is over, y'all. The stuff that was bugging you, or that was ailing you, the worst is behind you, and you are in full on recovery mode now. You're not totally recovered yet, but you are in full recovery mode. So like, I feel like the worst has already happened, and that now it's just a matter of moving forward and like picking yourself back up and kind of getting yourself back together. If this was like a long illness where you were like on your couch for 10 days, you know, like just waiting to see if whatever bug you caught is going to kill you or actually just like get better. You're in that process of like that sickness where you're still not totally 100%, like you haven't gone back to work yet, but you're like going to get up and put an outfit on and like try to look like a well person today, as opposed to just a huddled up in bed sick person today. Okay, that's just the analogy that I'm using. All right. Yes, and you're heading towards success. I feel like this success that you're heading towards is totally self-made and self-earned, and that it's been a long time coming, and you are well within deserving of it. You are well within having earned it. I feel like for some of you, you know, you went through the ringer with like a divorce, or you went through the ringer with like losing a career, or you went through the ringer with losing, you know, not a marriage but a partnership, stuff like that. I just did get a message in that for some of you, it could be like some of you have a child, like your baby that you birthed somehow or gave life to or raised in some capacity, has maybe made some choices against you. Like maybe they just decided like, I'm going to be that kid that's mad at my parents and I'm going to blame you for everything wrong that's ever happened in my life. And I'm gonna walk around and tell everybody that I'm a survivor and that I like did all this stuff. That's really oddly specific. But I do have a lot of like parents in my life like tell me, you know, when things like that happen to them with their kids, of, you know, them just deciding one day that like, you harmed me as a parent, you know, and they just run with that. And the parent themselves is actually having a hard time like pinpointing like any actual actions that they took that would cause that child to feel like abused or what's another word, like traumatized in some way. I feel like if that's the specific case for some of you, that this isn't the case of someone actually traumatizing their child. So if you're watching this and you're like, well, yeah, I did drink a lot and I got abusive, you know, that kind of thing. Not talking about that. This seems to be like a situation with people, like if it's a child in your life, like where they've made up their mind and there's nothing you can do to like change their mind. And like, you know that they're full of ish. Okay. But they're so sure that that's how it is that there's no point in talking to them about it. Like that's kind of where you're at. Sorry, that got very specific there for a second, but I always feel so much for parents when they go through that, because unless there's like something different about like your emotional and mental makeup, like you're gonna love that kid more than yourself and more than anything else in your life. And so when they actually like go against you or say things like, oh, you hurt me, and you were actually really trying your best that whole time, that it just feels like it would be devastating to hear that from someone. Okay. The devil card popped out, but it popped out in reverse. So we are going to take that in reverse at this time. Or at least when I picked it up in the reverse. This is a good thing. This is you moving out of what's holding you back. The devil card is all about constraints that we've placed on ourselves in some way. And the only person that can remove those constraints is ourselves. I always flinch when I have to say that to clients and people that I'm reading for, because I know when I'm getting readings and trying to figure out my life issues, I don't want people to be like, it's because you're not working hard enough. Or it's because there's a big job that you have to do. Like, schnapskis, I don't want to do that. Yeah, healing with this star, who is Nikki. Alright. Just kind of cover her up a little bit. The star is always about healing. It's also about regaining balance, okay? Or regaining harmony in some area of your life. It's also about being recognized, all right? So for some of you, I feel like for some of you, like maybe there's been like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. That parent situation keeps coming back, but it's like this pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and being like, okay, I cannot control the perception of others of what I did my best. I'm just going to try my best to move forward from here. And I'm feeling that across the board, not just for the parent people. I'm feeling that for like a lot, like a hard road has been walked and you're just trying to walk like further now, right? You're just trying to move farther forward on this path. And having people assert their opinions on you about what they think you should do or what they think you did, I feel like you're kind of like letting that go, even if it is like your child, because you can only take so much responsibility before you're like, I'm willing to own what I am responsible for, but like I'm not responsible for that. And I feel like you guys are owning that, and that's a good thing to own. Okay. Well, let's move on to what is coming towards you in the next 5 months or for the rest of this year. Yeah, speaking your truth, I feel like it's going to be liberating. Like what you think, you just say. If it's there, you say it. I'm also hearing that Mark Twain quote of like, when you always tell the truth, you never have to remember what happened. I know I didn't say that perfectly. I'm sure that's not how he phrased it. Yeah, and I see you owning it, even if it means you have to own it alone. Okay. of owning that truth, of owning your truth. And it's like, if people get upset and reject me for it, then I'll be rejected. I really don't care, to have it. Maybe you care, but not enough to lie about it, right? Not enough to keep your mouth shut about it anymore. Not enough to take responsibility for something that you don't own. Yes, and you're reaching enlightenment with this. Like, you're getting downloads and codes about how to move forward in this path of life, how to solve your problems on your own without anybody helping, just knowing the solution is right there and just being able to grasp a hold of that. That is something that I see you moving towards in the next few months. Okay. Oh, I feel those two for sure, and then I also feel this one. I see, like, with this card, like this, see how like the head is like kind of like opening up. I feel like all these things are going to open up for you. Look at how similar the colors are there. And even the swirls in the cards are very similar. I feel like adopting that idea of like, I'm going to stand by my truth, and if people don't like it, then I'll be alone. But that's actually going to bring your people towards you. Okay, like your soul tribe, your people who are supposed to be in your life. One thing that I'm going to say that I feel like just needs to be said to everybody lately is like, no one else is responsible for your happiness but you. And I feel like you are actually learning and owning that. And that is beautiful. My gosh, every single pile has gotten this card. And you're taking flight, you're taking wings. Like, I see that, like, this horse has a wing, looks like, but it also looks like you're spreading a wing, like you're not going to need help from the horse to fly anymore, is the message that I keep getting from this card when it pops up. Taking flight, taking, yourself to new heights, etc., and so forth. Okay. Well, let's see what else is coming towards you. That's a big chunk of cards. We're going to take them. Actually, it's not that many. It's just 4. Corn dollies. The relationships that nourish are those you nurture with your spirit. Yes. Remember we were talking about soul tribes just a second ago? It's so funny. I tapped the card itself instead of my screen to get it to focus, but somehow that made it focus. Anyway, I also like the number 11 because that's all about transformation and change, and like ascension. And I feel like, yeah, I keep coming back to that like child parent situation, but the only reason why I am is because to me that bond is probably feels closer to the parent than like any other relationship in that person's life, unless they have like something different going on with their emotions and their mental state. So like for the parent, not the kid, right? And so because that feels so important, it feels like the most important relationship. But I feel like that across the board for everyone, like if this isn't about a child for you, that I feel like it was the most important job. It was the most important person. It was the most important thing, right? And somehow it got taken. If it was a health thing, it was the most important aspect of your health. Like maybe it was a part of your body that, you can't use the same anymore, or that it's just completely gone, right? Or, an identity that you had that is now not part of your identity anymore because something changed, right? I feel like that severing or that feeling of like losing that is equally in measure for all of you. And so I just kept bringing up the kid and the parent because I see how much parents care about their kids, and how like a lot of times like the relationship is not the same, for the kid as it is for the parent, right? The kid doesn't know as much or can't feel as much as the parent can know and feel, right? So anywho, that all being said, I feel like it's something that's only understandable to you, like the loss and the struggle. And so I feel like as you're moving forward, the solution to regaining joy and rebuilding is not other people, it's yourself. And so the corn dollies, I feel like, are this like creating your own culture, creating your own myth, creating your own salvation as you move forward in the next months. Flower bouquet number 20. Savor presence with life and notice the magic living in small moments. Yes. Very relevant to what's going on here. Like, I feel like it's been such a theme across the piles, honestly, of this idea of like this solitary practice of moving forward with your own like advancement in your own like life and figuring out what your life purpose is, like absent of the influence of others, whether that's family, friends, occupation, societal expectations. Even your own spiritual and religious expectations are kind of taking a back seat to like this idea of like what I'm learning now and who am I and what am I doing, and taking joy in the little things that you're learning about yourself that you wouldn't have seen if you had that other presence of people around, or that other presence of influence of society, or that influence of belief systems that can constrain you. Country Fair number 13. Summon the strength to reach out and discover the unity of community around you. Yeah, you're going to build a new community. I did it again. I'm like, focus. It's so funny when you get a new phone, like all the stupid little things that you do to try to like make it work right is so funny to me. Especially when you're old like me and you still remember life without phones. And so you do silly things now, like, try to enlarge a physical object, like a book picture. Like, I want to make that bigger. Oh, just kidding. I have to do this. It's hilarious to me. What a trip. I'm seeing, you building a new community, you reaching new types of people with who you truly are, the essence of who you are. You're going to meet like a whole new crew. And like, they're not, and this is the other thing I'm hearing, curb your expectations. They're not going to be the movie crew that you hope to see on television, right? Some of them are going to be like not looking like you think they should. Some of them are not going to be in the age bracket or class bracket you think they should be, or that you would envision for yourself. Some of them might not agree with everything that you believe in. Okay. And that's all part of the spicy good stuff. Okay. Hilltops 27, hold tight to your vision as you're being called to climb to new heights. Yes. Your guides are saying just be still. Remember, be still and know. Because you are on the right path. You are on the right track. I'm noticing some shadow elements here. Of like embracing the dark with the light in order to move forward with the whole lesson, crisp and poignant and real and relevant to your journey. Ooh, so nice. Okay, I'm going to get a little more tarot. Just to finish this all up. And if you felt drawn to those other piles, feel free. Yeah, Queen of Swords, speaking that truth. Moving forward, you'll be successful as long as you hold to that. Yeah, Six of Pentacles, you're going to get balance back. I feel like so much is going to come into balance, like emotionally, financially, physically, that you're going to be like, oh, why did I wait so long? Abundance. Notice these stars that keep showing up in all of these cards you keep getting. That shape is important. They call them barn stars mostly now. People put them on the sides of their houses. Lots of opportunities opening up. I love the freedom of that bird. And topping it all off. Yeah, you're getting skilled. So Seven of Swords, a lot of times people associate with negativity. Because it can show somebody trying to get away with something. It can show somebody not being truthful, etc. and so forth. But what I think is cool about this particular case is that it's the White Stag. And this is a very positive card in this deck for me because this guy shows up in visions to tell you something important about yourself, to show you a life. Like if there was going to be like a burning bush moment of, oh, God's going to come down and talk to you. This is one of the mythological ways that that deity would do so, is sending you a vision. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is this like becoming more than your former self, gaining skill and knowledge, and especially craftiness about what you're doing. Like you're not just getting through this hard time by adopting this philosophy or this new life view. You're actually like moving your spirit forward to a greater good and your greatest purpose. And so that's why it feels so poignant and real and powerful, is because it is. Okay. I think that's all I have for you, my wonderful group 3. It only took me, 3 days to get that to record. Now let's see if it uploads. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comments section. If you would like to give me topic ideas, please give those to me in the the comment section as well. And then if you would like to book a private reading, there are ways to get a hold of me in the description box always. If you like any of the cards that you see, I do reviews occasionally, but I always show the boxes they came in that has their information on them in the intro. So anytime you see a deck you like, you can always skip back to the intro and watch the whole thing. When I see me start flipping boxes around, that's when I'm showing them. And you can always comment and ask. I usually get back. All right. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile 4. So if you picked the cute little green rock that we didn't know what it was, and the Liber Florum Tarot, I probably said that wrong. Let's go ahead and shuffle this, even though I'm not going to do it yet. We're going to get into some other stuff first. We're going to start with stuff that you're leaving behind. So this is about the next 5 months, but we're going to see what the last 7 months brought that you're leaving behind as you finish off the year. Hello. That one wanted to come out for shore skis. So does this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay. I'm gonna lay these out first as we go. All of these cards have nudity, so I'm being very, very gun shy. So far, so good. As we move through these, I always say take note of what you feel first before I start talking about them, Nickies. More Nickies. I love soul cards, but they do have a lot of nudity in them if you have a channel. Okay. And then this one as well. Interesting. Alright, so let's move through these, shall we? Let's start with this one here. I feel like you're leaving behind a lot of sneaky people, some of you. I also feel like a lot of you are also just kind of leaving behind some sort of thing that was causing you distress in your mind. And like with this look on this person's face here, you can see them sort of looking at that snake like, you don't bother me so much anymore. You are no threat to me. I see you letting go of some anxieties, of letting go of things you don't have control over. I see you letting go of people who don't serve you, situations who don't serve you. But really anything that takes up space in your mind, I feel like is something that you are moving away from. I also have you being more at ease with your own self, your own reflection. So I feel like for some of you, I feel like there's like a weird, not weird, but like an underlining, like, I said weird because it doesn't feel valid. Like a feeling of like that you don't look good enough, that your appearance isn't good enough. I I say weird because that's not true. Like the rest of the world doesn't see you that way. But I feel like you actually becoming more comfortable with the reflection that you see and just accepting it for what it is and moving forward from that. For others, I feel like it's moving away from like feeling like not okay with who you are at your core, like accepting yourself as yourself and just moving on forward from there. I also see you not worrying about the opinions of others as much. For so many, this card showed up in all the piles of things people were moving away from it. It's like, to me, it's this idea of letting people live rent-free in your head, letting their words and their assumptions and their expectations actually affect you to the point where it might actually even affect your decisions. I see you moving away from that as well and just accepting and trusting yourself. And I see that it's like this inspiration for you. And that you're not even just like keeping it for yourself, that you're going to share that information with others. Maybe give advice to younger people about don't do what I did, you know, for that 7 months or whatever, or your whole life, or however long it was that took you to realize that that's what you're moving on from, moving on to trusting yourself. Okay. I also see this idea of not worrying about rocking the boat, not worrying about, see how she's just doing her thing, and if it affects this person in the boat, well, they're in their boat doing what they need to do, and she's doing what she needs to do in the water. So I see you like not asking permission as much, not being like, oh, is it okay that I did this? Just doing it, like making executive decisions for yourself and then owning it. And if people want to, oh, why did you make an executive decision without checking? You can say, you weren't there, or just own, you know, what the reasoning was behind it and saying that with confidence, which is very, very nice. Cover that back up. Give her back her little brassiere here. I see you opening up more with your feelings, but I also see you healing yourself more, like not bleeding for other people. I feel that same vibe that I get a lot of times when I do readings on this channel, of like a small town vibe of like sewing yourself up and being like, you know what, just wave at them and tell them you're glad they enjoyed the show and just pick yourself up and move on. You know, like the people in your neighborhood community or whatever, they're going to talk, you know, of how they think that you're handling everything. Don't worry about it. I see you not worrying about it. I see you moving forward. We're going to go ahead and cover that little boat rocker there. And look at this one. Lots of solar plexus energy. I also see a lot of phoenix energy. But it's this idea of like, this is my time to shine. Just kind of rising up and letting everyone see you for who you really are. Yes. I feel bad because all these piles are so similar. If you were drawn to other piles, there's a reason. Go ahead and go check those out. Don't worry about rocking the boat. Okay, let's get you some tarot. Nope, just kidding. We have more moving away from energy we want to look at. And this card is the first one that wants to come out for you. Money Magic 25. It is in limiting beliefs that magic goes to die. Aww. See these people around the central figure here? I feel like there are people who do understand you and do believe you and do understand like what you're going through and do admire the way you're handling things and how you're moving forward. Those people will become more apparent as you move forward and as you move away from the ones that don't serve you anymore. Butterflies. Here in the unknown, you will find the essence of who you really are and what magic awaits. Yes. There's so much that's going to begin now because you've taken that step, because you've chosen to move away from anything that doesn't serve you. It opens up those doors of new opportunity, new growth. Roses. The soft petal felt upon your flesh is ready to release her thorns. Yeah, I feel like this card has so many meanings depending on where it shows up in readings for me. But for you, I feel like in this case with this group, a lot of you are allowing your softer side to come out. I think a lot of you had to be in fighter mode for so long that you had to justify who you are and what you're doing for so long that like you're letting that go and kind of moving into this idea of like, I'm also vulnerable and I'm going to let people know when I feel hurt. I'm going to let people know when I feel vulnerable. I'm going to let them know when, you know, what they did affected me in a negative way or in a good way. I see you letting that show more, which is very, very nice. Okay. The Sun Wheel, number 42. Make sure to catch your breath. You are in for an unexpected journey. I think every pile has gotten this so far. And it's true. It's like so much transformation has been taking place just across the board. Like, I feel like the world, you know, like watching the news has put a lot of people into this position of like, oh my gosh, it doesn't matter what I do or what rules I follow. I still end up in the same, you know, situation, or I still ended up having this bad thing happen, or, you know, doing all those things, following all those rules for those people didn't get me anywhere. You know, that kind of energy. I feel like you're just doing you, and it's beautiful. Summer Berries 34. Be wary of picking your harvest too early and risking losing the sweetness of it all. Yeah, don't feel like you have to rush. I know it's been like a 7-month stretch into the year already, and like maybe a lot of you feel like you haven't made a ton of progress. But you have, and like there's going to be even more progress made in the last 5 months of the year. Okay. And so take time to enjoy the little moments, and gosh dang it, give yourself some credit for how much you've come through, for how much you've learned, for how much you've done. Okay. For how much you're still doing and committing to. You really deserve a lot of credit. Ooh, wand making, number 43. With a flick of focus, you will come to see a vision realized. For some of you, I feel like this is actually telling you to make a wand. I wouldn't know how to, actually, I would actually know how to go about starting one, but I wouldn't know how to even get much further than that. But if you want to make yourself a magic wand or procure one somehow, go for it. I feel like some of you might have some wand magic that you can do. I also see a whale, a little critter, might be like a fox or a wolf, I'm not sure. Based on the tail, I'm thinking a fox. And a bird. It looks sort of like a raven. Another fox. Butterflies for transformation. Bees for abundance. Very, very magical stuff. So make sure that you're focusing on what you need to focus on. And I feel like you will. I feel like, see how she's just like holding that moon in the palm of her hand? I feel like you are realizing that so much of what you were seeking is already with you. And so now you're just going to bask in it a little bit for the next 5 months. And that's also like, before I was saying, make sure that you take time to enjoy the sweetness and give yourself credit and blah, blah, blah. That's very much what I'm seeing here, is like you basking in that energy that you've created, like allowing yourself that happy ending energy, right? Very, very nice. Okay, let's look at your tarot. So what's going to happen in the next 5 months for you? This has been a very introspective reading today. Not a lot of like details like that chick at work's finally gonna get what's coming to her. None of them like that's been coming out. Okay. There are readings like that though. Like, are they gonna get what's coming to them for doing something to you? Those are fun. I watch those. Maybe I should do one of those. Okay. We have King of Cups. And gladiolus for your flower. Ace of Swords and almond flower. 8 of Pentacles and some Miss Molly. I know nothing about flowers, so these might as well be called anything. 9 of Swords and Mandrake. High Priestess and Hazel. Four of Pentacles and the Shamrock. Let's get a little bit more. Oh. 8 of Swords and some more Miss Molly. Miss Molly is an important flower for you. Today, anyway. And Judgment. Hibiscus. Okay. I swear I could have read something that said hibiscus. Dresses that have hibiscus flowers on them are lucky, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on all that craziness. I'm going to sit down, so hopefully this doesn't get fuzzy. So I'm seeing first off with this King of Cups that you are moving towards emotional fulfillment. All right. For a lot of you, I feel like there is some romance on the horizon in the next 5 months. Gross. But I will let you know if any more comes up from there. If this is a romance coming in, and if the person coming in is represented by the King of Cups, that's a pretty well-rounded person to get for a partner. Very emotionally stable, very emotionally giving, but not too passionate, not too, I don't know what to say, like, not too psycho. You know, like if you broke up with them, they wouldn't stalk you afterwards, probably, you know, that kind of thing. For others, it's just a fulfillment, an emotional fulfillment that's coming towards you in the next 5 months. But yeah, the King of Cups would be like the epitome of like a good relationship. Okay. What else? But mostly emotional fulfillment is what I'm getting from that one. Ace of Swords, keep speaking that truth. It's what's gotten you this far, and it's going to keep getting you there. Speak the truth to yourself first is what I'm hearing with that message of speaking the truth to yourself first. Before you even feel like you have to declare anything to anyone else, just like tell yourself, is this true? Is this happening? It's a good coping skill to adopt. 8 of Pentacles, that's working hard. You've already worked very hard to get where you are. Just keep doing what you're doing and you will continue to excel. This card also talks about being rewarded for all that hard work that you're putting in. There is anxiety still for some of you over the next 5 months. I feel like anytime that someone's going through a huge transformation like that, you get tested. And you've probably already been tested a lot. The tests won't stop, you know. They're going to come whether we like them to or not. And so your guides are showing with this card here that anxiety is just a feeling, okay? It's not something that you actually have to accept as reality. I also want to say the line, anxiety screams, intuition whispers. Those are all things that you need to remember when you have those dark nights of the soul. And things kind of just sort of crowd in around you and you're like, what am I doing? What is going to happen? And then you start to freak out. You guys are saying that the freak out part is the worst that's going to happen. None of those fears are going to materialize. Okay. So like this is as bad as it gets with that card. It's pretty bad because it's an unrest, right? But it doesn't show anything actually happening to that person. It's because nothing is actually bad that's going to happen. Okay. Trust your intuition. This card also pops up in readings when I'm right. So I like to see it pop up anytime. But yeah, trust your intuition at this time. You can trust yourself. That's what a lot of this lesson has been about for you. There is protection around your finances at this time. I feel like for some of you, finances don't feel secure right now. And my God, who in this world right now feels financially secure? I don't even think billionaires feel financially secure right now because everything is so crazy. And so your guides are showing that you do have financial protection at this time. But yes, be saving your money because unexpected things can arise. And I feel like a lot of you are stretched thin as it is. So just kind of, you know, watch your spending. But they are showing that you do have financial protection at this time. Anything that you feel is holding you back is actually something that you can easily remove. That is the message of this card. You might not see it yet. And a lot of times it's things that we don't want to remove. Okay, like for me, a lot of times it's people. Of like, I just have to bite the bullet and break up with a person, right? because they're just not doing it for me, and that's okay for me to do. But for some reason, if they haven't like tried to murder me this week, then it's not a good enough reason for me to actually just say I'm not into you and let's not do this anymore, right? Like, I don't think you're a good friend, whatever. Like, you're boring. I don't know. I just don't feel like we're meshing well. I feel like this is a one-sided relationship and maybe we should go our separate ways. But because they haven't actually done anything malicious to me, I feel like I don't have the right to even take control of my own life, which is silly, right? And so that's an example of something that I could remove myself that I don't want to, but only I can do it. That person's going to keep being them if I don't remove them from my life, right? They're not going to change for me. They're not going to become what I need them to be. Chances are, if they're in my life, I didn't even invite them because that's just how people end up in my life. And I usually either keep them around or I try to distance myself from them. I literally make very few decisions about who ends up showing up. And that's something I'm working on. That's just a personal example that I'm giving you guys just in case it helps resonate. And then judgment with the hibiscus flower. So judgment is all about something that you thought was gone springing back to life. It's reaching your full potential. It's like, oh, coming through the clouds and you understand now what your purpose is. Okay, all of that is embodied by that card. And so your guides are showing you that like you are totally on the right trajectory. You're never going to have like a life where you don't have moments like this, but that's okay. It doesn't mean that you should stay stuck. Okay? You can remove the things in your life that you don't want there. Even if it's uncomfortable, it can be done. All right, let's go ahead and see what's coming towards you. Some more oracle cards here. Ooh, yeah, romance vibes for sure. Compatibility, finding someone that fits with you. I'll put that right over there with the King of Cups because it seems relevant to that card. Yeekies. Getting Empress vibes from this card as well. I'm also getting heavy fertility vibes with love and all that. If you are not planning on getting pregnant, take precaution. Let's see what else. Finding yourself, but also finding someone else who matches with you. If this isn't about romance for some of you, if it's like, say, career or lifestyle or family or whatever, those things are going to come towards you as you hold to your truth and cut out the things in your life that aren't working for you. It's okay for you to do that. You're the one that has to die when it comes time for you to die. That's what Jimi Hendrix said. So live your life the way you want to. That's not exactly how he said it. Speak your truth. It's not bad what's inside of you. I'm hearing that. I feel like a elementary school counselor just then, but yeah, reaching up for what you know is yours. And I see some of you, if you are entering into a new romance in the next 5 months, you're going to realize that like you don't always have to stay in that person's shadow. You can keep reaching for what you want, even if they're there. For others, I feel like this card is showing you kind of coming out from under someone's wing and creating your own culture, creating your own life, creating your own magic. Very nice. Oh, and you have a guardian that is going to help you through this. I'm feeling a lot of root energy, so you might need to work on your root chakra. I'm no expert, so just, look up some experts on those and see how you want to work with it. But I am seeing like a lot of root growth going on, root balancing. You have a spirit guardian who is going to help you with that. It has to do with survival, like feeling okay surviving in the world. I feel like a lot of you have a very strong survival instinct, and it might be a little overactive. Okay, let's see what else is coming towards you. Feeling these ones for sure, and this one. Okay, and this one too. Okay, Roosters and Hens number 35. A change of scenery is calling. Embrace the adventure that awaits. See, it's just getting started. So that's just further confirmation. What else is going on? Flower bouquet number 20, savor presence with life and notice the magic living in the small moments. You're doing a lot of new stuff, so it's a good thing to go ahead and just enjoy the little moments that are going to come towards you as you move forward in your little journey here in the next 5 months. I'm also feeling that like there's a lot of like little precious moments that are coming towards you in the next 5 months that like you could miss if you're not looking for them. I just heard that. Poetry number 32. Invoke your words for good and use them to uplift yourself and others. So I feel like some of you are being called to write. I'm getting some severe Emily Dickinson vibes from this card. A lot of it is her outfit. And like the darknesses that I see, but and her solitude. But I also just kind of have this like feeling of like this tortured artist kind of like vibe. I also see a bunny rabbit and a crow and a dove. But the little dove is crying. So I feel like you finding your peace through writing is kind of important. I also feel like some of you are going to find some inspiration by just reading some poetry. I'm not somebody that just goes out and reads poetry, but then like when it comes across my path, I'll end up finding something that I carry with me for the rest of my life, and I am feeling that for you as well. Farmhouse number 17, the time has come for a greater sense of belonging and harmony within and all around you. Notice how they started with within. So much of this is just about what's inside of you. Look, there's your dove again. Finding that peace and happiness and joy inside of you and what you're doing. And not worrying so much about what the rest of the world is doing, what the rest of the world might think you need to do. Cemetery number 4, call in the courage to embrace death as a part of life's journey, to welcome new beginnings that bring growth and evolution. I feel like for some, I do see like there's some kind of, and I'm never going to like predict death of like anybody immediate to you. Like if that's something that pops in when I'm reading for somebody, I just don't say anything. And I generally just ask the guides that come in, don't tell me about anybody dying. But in this particular case, it almost feels like a member of your community, or like somebody that you really respected but didn't know personally might pass away or may have already passed away. I feel like this sense of not so much of like an immediate death that like upheaves your world and makes you have to change how you live, but like a death that like signals the end of an era. Okay. I also feel that for some, this isn't like about a person dying. It's about like a time period passing away and having a grief moment for that. I feel like for a lot of you, this moment has already passed, and that's why you're in this transformative energy, is because something already died or passed away, and you were kind of left picking up the pieces, or kind of left rebuilding what was lost, or recreating, you know, what doesn't exist anymore. That feels more poignant, but I do feel that for some of you, there might be like a really well-respected community member or something that has or will pass away during the 5 months, and it's not like somebody that's going to affect you or your livelihood or your security, but it's like somebody who affected your life in a positive way and whose loss will be felt, is what I'm feeling there. Some kind of era is coming to an end, and your guides are saying that it's okay, that whatever this is, it feels like something that you know is coming, okay? In most of these cases, I don't feel like this being a thing. It almost feels like the cemetery has always been there, and we just have to go there for some reason. That's an interesting message. What else? I also feel like for some of you, I feel like some of you have been talking or communicating with the dead a lot, and that's all well and good, and you've probably gleaned a lot from that, but at the same time, it isn't a replacement for the living, and that is something that is coming through for a specific few. What else? Some of you, I feel like with the poetry thing, that the poetry thing is connected to cemeteries, and the Emily Dickinson idea is coming back because she often dealt with like the darker shadow attributes. You know, she was a Gothic writer. So I kind of feel like maybe you'll find some inspiration in cemeteries. I feel like there's a grave that one or more of you need to see that's going to tell you some kind of a story or inspire you in some kind of a way. And like the soul of that grave wants you to find it. What else? I feel like this little cemetery boat just went by and all these like souls were like, hey, I got something I need to say about it. There's something about the number 4 that feels significant as well. I'm also getting 4 of Wands vibes, which is about celebration. But I'm seeing like celebration of life. So there might be like a ceremony that's coming forward from a death that happened a while ago where it's more of a celebration and less of a dirge, I guess you could say. What else do you guys want to say? I feel like there's somebody in that doorway waiting for her that has like information for her and she's bringing an offering to it. What else? Calling the courage to embrace death. There's some kind of courage. I feel like some of you might just have to have heebie-jeebies that you need to get over with. Like maybe some of you are scared to turn off the light and then go up the stairs. And that your guides are saying to let go of those heebie-jeebies, that there's nothing really, that monster in the dark isn't going to grab you. That isn't a monster there waiting for her. What else? A loaded card, y'all. Moving on. Fennel number 19. There is nothing to fear. Oh, trust that everything will work itself out. So much worry stuff going on. I feel like that's worry of just stepping into the new. I feel like with the writing thing too, like some of you feel like you're not worthy to say, like how she's sitting the same way. Like you're not worthy to say these things. Or that you're not worthy to like speak something. And that's not true. This is something that would be, your words would actually reach more people than you think. It would even reach the dead. Okay, moving on. Country Fair. Number 13. Summon the strength to reach out and discover the unity of community around you. Yes, that also popped up with the other cards or the other piles. This is all about you finding your own community in this new light, this new energy that you're doing. I feel like with the cemetery thing that's going on with some of you, that will be a community moment of people coming together and sharing. All right, moving along. Let's get some more tarot to close this out. Yeah! I really didn't need to scream that loud. It wasn't really that bad. Or was it? Here we go. This card was important and it came out in the reverse. We have Knight of Pentacles and 6 of Wands in reverse. We also have 6 of Pentacles and 7 of Cups. Let me get a couple more. Seven of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Tower. Yes. Okay. It's just like, I feel like as we were going through this reading, some of you had anxiety spike. Something I said or something you saw made you go, ah, I don't know. Look at all this yellow. Solar plexus energy. Okay. I feel like because you're doing all this new stuff, you've experienced some things that are making you hesitant to keep moving forward. And that is how others see you and what they're saying about you. Whether or not you're going to have enough, whether or not you're going to pick the right things, whether or not you can trust the new people that come into this new community to you. If you're giving too much, if you're not giving enough, and that it's all going to fall apart, right? That's not what's going to happen. Moving slow is fine. Stopping moving is not what you want to do at this time. I know we talked about like stillness and like healing and all that good stuff, but at the same time, you don't want to stagnate yourself. Yes, see, it's almost like you're beating yourself up over things that you don't need to beat yourself up about. I'm putting that over the people talking, because I almost feel like just the stuff you think they're saying is actually hurting you more than what would actually be hurtful to you that was actually said. Does that even make sense? Did I even say that right? And that your plans are moving along the way they should be. So like what I'm seeing with that is that this fear that you're feeling is like this idea that whatever you're embarking on is going to fail miserably, and all the people that doubted you they're going to see it and they're going to go, yeah, we told you. And that's not going to happen. Like, your guides are showing that that's not going to happen. Show them something that's going to make them feel better about that tower. What's really going to happen instead? See, Eight of Wands. The Tower is about everything falling apart all at once. Eight of Wands is about everything coming together all at once. So that's like the perfect thing to get for that. Okay, what else do I want to say? Slow but steady wins the race. The payoff with this card is usually better because you're not rushing, right? You are appreciating stillness and learning. You don't have to be afraid of choosing the wrong thing. I feel like you've already been through so much that, like, there's really only up from here is what I keep hearing. And that you aren't going to give too much away and you aren't going to, like, hold back too much. That you're doing everything exactly right. I think that's it. Okay. I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, tell me how in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you would like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. Thank you so much, Pile 4s. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye, 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 bye. Hello, Pile 5. Yes. Yes, Pile 5. I'm like, this video is taking me so long to make that I don't even know what piles that they are anymore. I'm a different person than when I started. So you picked this little, I don't know what it is. It's like black and red. The red part looks like bloodstone, but the black part's too black, I think, for it to be bloodstone. But I don't know jack about stones. So this is the tarot deck that you're going to use, but we're going to start with some stuff that you're leaving behind, energy that you're leaving behind, anything from the last 7 months that you are going to leave behind as you finish off the year. So what are we leaving behind before you embark in the last 5 months of the year? See these ones. Yes, I do. This one too. Okay. Let's see what we got. Interesting. So many of you are getting similar cards that I often feel like I'm doing the same exact reading over and over and over again. I really need to start looking at my cards before I show them all to you. Because people be sneaky. Okay. Remember with soul cards, that's the name of these cards that we're using, always go with your interpretation over mine. Because there is no book for these cards. There is no assigned meaning to them. It's all up to you. So, well, let's start with the first one. Even though this was the first card in the last pile, I feel a different direction. I feel like in you guys' case, it's sort of the same and sort of different, so you might want to watch pile 4. The snake in this case feels like a more centralized figure, whereas in the last pile it felt more like, you know, an array of people or an array of energy or an array of like a group, you know, that kind of feeling. This feels like there's one person in your life that you're leaving behind, and like the thing that stood out to me in this picture was the snake's face. how glaring it is, and how this person's just sitting there like, sit there and glare. I'm not gonna let you affect me with your venom or squeezing me or whatever kind of snake you are. I love snakes, but not this one in this particular reading. Does that make sense? Because I feel like it represents like a person. It's like a person that's been bothering you for a long time. Like, I feel like in some cases, some of you had a stalker. In other cases, it wasn't like a stalker, but just like someone villainized you. I call these people villain finders, where it's kind of a narcissistic trait that I see in some people, where they kind of like look around for a villain to assign all of their blame to. And it can be somebody they're working with. It can be their neighbor. It could be, you know, their best friend that's been their friend for a very long time. And then that friend said or did something that they didn't like. And so then they struck. Okay. I'm not getting healthy vibes from this person. And I feel like you're leaving this person behind. I feel like in most cases, this is not a romantic union with you and this person. This feels like maybe somebody you work with, a neighbor, you know, like whoever that, and they just like zeroed in on you and you actually haven't done anything to them. That's what I feel. Anything else? Load it up. This is kind of popping into my mind. Not to take us into a dirty place or whatever, but like, see how he's kind of covering himself there? It almost feels like that might be what that snake is going to go for first, or it feels like that's what they're going for. And I feel like it's metaphorical in a lot of senses. Like maybe if you're a man, like maybe they attack your manhood quite a bit. If you're not a man, maybe they attack like your virility, your stamina in some way. Yeah, I feel like an emasculating presence, like somebody that drags people down to like keep them on their level. And like the snake is coiled, like always ready, always ready. And I feel like you have dealt with it for so long. It could be career, but to me it feels more like a person in your life that you're just like, not today, Satan, we're not doing this. And so that feels really good. I also see you leaving behind anything that stirs you up. Like I almost feel like this person is calming themselves in this picture in all this stormy water, and that it's going to calm things down for you. So I feel like you are rejecting a lot of just stuff that kind of weighs you down, very similar to the other piles as well. But a very healthy energy to be seen across the board for a lot of you. That's awesome. In this particular card, we're not going to get too close because all you're going to see are more naughty bits. But I see like some of you like being like, I'm focusing on my kids. You know, I'm focusing on my self-care. If you don't have kids, I'm focusing on like nurturing the child within myself. I'm focusing on nurturing the children that are the children that are in my community. Okay. I'm focusing on what's important. I'm focusing on what I have control over. I don't have control over this person, but I do have control over how I let them affect me. And that's what I feel happening for you with this leaving behind energy. I also feel like this is new energy for you, like striking out into the unknown, full energy. It's a freedom to it. There's also so much to be gained from freedom that you aren't even sure of what it is yet. It's not always good. It's an adventure, right? And this was meant to happen. Somebody's saying that to me. This was supposed to happen right now at this time in your life. And then I like turn my camera off and then turn it back on just in time to clear my throat. So smooth. I see you finding yourself more and being happy with what you see. Finding yourself and being happy with what you see. Finding enlightenment. I see like how big that third eye is. It's like taking up their whole entire top of their head. And like radiating this like light around them. This aura that like is like a perfect heart shape. Like you're totally like in control. And maybe for like the first time ever. Of your energy, of your light, of your trajectory through your life. And you're not allowing like this type of energy to hold you back. You're totally letting that go. I feel like for a lot of you, you really let that, like if it's a person, you really let that person get to you. And I'm not saying like shame on you for letting that happen. They're the ones being a jerk. I never blame the victim ever. But at the same time, you're taking your power back, which is fantastico. Okay, let's see what else we've got that you're leaving behind. Lightworker number 23. Come on. The transmutation of shadow is needed when seeking the light that guides you. Yes, I feel like the shadow aspects are not so much elements of your own shadow in this particular reading. It's more like the shadow aspects around you and being like, you know what, this is not healthy. This is not in alignment with me, and I'm going to move forward from this. I'm not going to allow it to affect me anymore. For some reason, this bottom card caught my eye because that bird is so prominent. Definitely some spirit guide energy there, so go ahead and drink that in. Cloud scrying, be still, for it's in the act of patience that guidance is met with clarity. I'm like, it's not clear, I can't see it. So yeah, it's like this idea of like taking time to just like drink in what you're learning. Taking time to like, oh, what am I trying to say, Lord? Like taking that time to, it's so hot, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh, taking that time to like explore and figure out what this is that you are, what this is that you're doing, what this means for you. I love that it's absent of all other people. Like the only other person I saw was that snake person. I feel like you are not even thinking about the people that caused you problems. That's definitely something you've moved away from. The most that I'm seeing from you at this point is reflecting back and being like, see, that shadow needed to be seen because it needed to be taken out or had light shine on it, or it needed to be removed from my life, right? And being still and deciding what it is that you do know, what it is that you do want, because that is up to you. It's not up to anybody else. So I see you mastering that quite well. Let's see what else we got. I always wonder what other people are doing when they make these videos. Are they up running around the table like I am? And then sitting down and just kind of reaching out at the table like, hi guys. Or do they have like a little way that they sit the whole time? I gotta figure that out. Okay, we have Heather, number 14. You are worthy, my dear. Silence the noise that strips you of your peace. Interesting. Sorry, I see a message for somebody I know with this card, so I got two. Take a picture of it real quick. Hang on. We're back. Okay. Yeah, I think you know you're worthy, and that's the coolest part about that. And look at that little... It's like a little fox with antlers that are roses. See, it's like creating this whole world. And I've seen this in all of the piles today of like this idea of like, I've lived my whole life trying to fit in a box or trying different boxes to fit in because that's what everybody kept telling me I needed to do. And I'm not doing that for anybody anymore. Yes. It's so relatable. It's, touching. I also feel like this might have something to do with somebody watching whose name might be Heather. The person that I just sent this picture to, his name is Heather. Hi, Heather. Anyway, the card was for you. Let's go ahead and cover up this Nakey card. There we go. I just like all the little details of her little house, like all these funny little things that you don't see in other people's houses, you know, like a special wreath, you know, mirrors hung up in different ways, a key and a broom, you know, like the little ring of keys. Just a little fun little fact. If you hang a ring of 5 antique keys on a red ribbon over your door, it protects your house from fire. Okay. Jeez Louise, everybody keeps getting the same cards and it's flipping me out. I feel like I've been doing the same reading for 5 different piles and it's creeping me out. And I feel like a broken record, like a one-trick pony. The soft petal felt upon your flesh is ready to release her thorns. I feel like in this case, as well as the last pile that got this card, that it's about you allowing your soft side to come out. You're totally standing your ground and doing your own thing, but you're also owning your feelings more so than ever before. So you're letting go of like keeping that tough exterior and like letting the other parts come out. I feel that's a huge change for you, like being vulnerable in front of people. I felt that for the last pile. I feel these 3. Sunstone, number 40. In the uniqueness of who you are lives a world yet to be discovered. Yes. I love how, like, look how crazy her eyebrows are. And she's, like, chewing on these little, like, hair flowers that she got. She's, like, got 2 different colored eyes. And she's just owning it, right? I feel like some of you might like sun shapes in your jewelry. You might like that red color, like garnets. But yeah, if you really truly embrace who you are, then you really are embracing the gift that you have to bring to the world. And so that's very beautiful. I also love that you're leaving behind anything that makes you not unique, like things that you might have even tried to hide shamedly at some point. You're like, look at my eyebrows, B words. Drink them in, they're weird, and I love it. Hanging baskets, number 13. Lean into the essence of receiving, for there await the things that you've been telling yourself are out of reach. It's interesting, it's a different card, but there was a similar message in another pile of like, lean into what you have, bask in it, bask in it. If people often tell you that you're beautiful, and they almost do it in a condescending way, even like, oh, shut up, you're perfect, and you freaking know you are, like that kind of stuff. I know that they're saying you're perfect, and to them it feels like maybe they're giving you a compliment, but it might not feel like one to you. I feel like to you it might feel kind of shaming. And this doesn't have to do with just beauty. Something to do with like the gifts that you've received in your life. Like maybe you have some money, maybe you have some charisma or charm, maybe you have some luck, whatever it is. I want you to practice leaning into it and basking for a second. So I'm going to use the same example I used in another pile. So if you're watching more than one pile, I'm just going to tell the hospital story again. So don't worry about that. You can skip it. But when I go to the clinic in the little tiny town I live in, like there's only ever like one PA like on call that day. It's like one guy that's like a physician's assistant, and then one big doctor that like oversees the whole place, and no one ever meets him. Okay. So the people that come in to see a PA for like colds and coughs and sprained whatevers, they have to wait in the waiting room for that person to get to them and their nurse that's there, the 3 nurses that are there that day or however many, you know, I'm sure there's more, but the only ones that you see, you know, are like 3 or 4 people. And so when I come in, I'm seeing a different provider than the PA that's there to see sprains and cuts and things like that. I'm there to talk to somebody. See what I'm saying? So when I get there, not only does everyone know me because I go there every week, and they're all like, oh, Miriam, how are you? But they also whisk me right back there because I'm not seeing that PA that everybody else is there waiting to see. I feel uncomfortable when that happens because I feel the people in the waiting room look at me like, what made her so special that she got called in as soon as she walked in the door, right? And instead of feeling shamefaced or abashed by that or feeling like I need to explain myself, which is usually how I feel, I bask in it and just allow that reality to unfold and be like, yeah, let yourself feel like the lucky person who gets to go in before everybody else. Why not? Even though it isn't even true in that particular case. If somebody's saying, whatever, you're perfect. Lean into that. To that person, you have nothing to worry about, to the point where they kind of resent you a little bit, maybe, right? Or not you, but they resent you being worried about not being perfect, right? So like lean into it and be like, oh my gosh, to that person, I'm a pretty one. And maybe I don't feel like that, but maybe I can just wear that for a couple of seconds and see how it feels. And it feels good. Take it from me, it feels really good. You should try it. Okay. And last but not least, we have butterflies number 2. Here in the unknown, you will find the essence of who you really are and what magic awaits. Yeah, you don't know what that stuff is going to bring until you try it on, right? You didn't know you could wear booty shorts and get away with it. Booty shorts and combat boots until you tried them on. And then the salesperson was like, I hate you, you're so perfect. And instead of being like, oh God, I better take this off, you're like, oh yeah, I better twerk a little bit. Okay, moving along from what we've left behind, let's look at some tarot. We have the Page of Swords. Justice, baby. The Tower. You know, what I love about this Tower card is that even though they're falling out of that building, they still look like they're having fun. It's probably because they have wings. What else? The Queen of Pentacles. I feel these two. Don't worry, we'll get more of these. Frick yeah, the Sun. And the Empress. Holy shnikes, you guys are doing well. Okay, let's unpack what we have. So with the Page of Swords, I see that you are in beginner mode, but you're also owning it, embracing it. I also want to throw in just a little tidbit of information. There are a lot of people watching you right now. They're not being very vocal about it, but they are watching, keeping an eye, keeping tabs to see what you're doing, especially those of you that live in a tight-knit community of some kind. So if you don't live like in a small town like I do, tight-knit community, it could be like an apartment building, a place where everybody works, and the location of where you all work, you kind of all dine and break in the same places. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting, that like close-knit, where people can be aware of what you're doing without even talking to you. I feel like some people are creeping on your social media, and like they're not all doing it for bad reasons. Some of them are just genuinely interested in what you're doing because you're kind of doing things differently lately. Others are, you know, digging for dirt, looking to see like for any little scrap of anything they can tear down, you know. So, you know, if you've lost weight or you're glowing up, they're like, looks like maybe she's not eating enough. Or if you like, you know, maybe you have a hard time gaining weight and you actually like put on a few pounds because you've been eating and enjoying yourself. Somebody's eating their filling. Or, you know, you're happy in a relationship or whatever. And they're like, yeah, so it seems a little different from that last relationship you had. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, if it's a new relationship, they're always like, if you're like super excited about it, they're like, maybe you should slow down. You don't really know him that well yet and stuff. Or you're like optimistic about the relationship, but you just came out of a real humdinger of a relationship that really like just stomped your heart, you know, to the point of maybe almost not recovering from it. And then, you know, you're taking it slow and you're feeling good about this one, just kind of waiting to see how it all turns out, being healthy about it. And they go, I just don't know. You just don't seem as excited like you were with Brad. They're going to keep doing that regardless. So like some of them that are watching you are doing that thing. And like, unfortunately, I do feel some family in some of your lives that might even, and coworkers and people that are like close enough of family because of that tight-knit community crap, that feel like it's okay to just like assert their opinion on you whenever they feel like it, and like give you their opinion on like what they think you should be doing and how they think you should be doing it and what they think about how you're doing what you're doing. It's so funny. I don't feel like you're going to let most of that get to you. I feel like you're going to get some justice as well. I feel like in some cases, some people have been very unfair to you in the past 7 months, mostly through talk and just their cruddy attitudes. Yeah, there we go. You're going to get justice for that. You're going to see some people get some poetic justice of just seeing them Like the people that are always like creeping on your social media, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. And some of you already know this secret. I'm sorry, I keep blowing my nose. Oh. I'll let you in on a little secret. The people that creep on your social media to look for things to tear down about you are very insecure people. You may have figured that out. And when they do that, just looking for that thing, the poetic justice that I see coming through for those people that are aware of that, like maybe painfully aware of the things people say about you, you're going to get to see some of them get their just desserts. Like you're going to get to see a couple of them fail miserably publicly online. Like maybe they were like boasting about in your relationship that they had, and then pretty soon you're going to see like really embarrassing public posts about how they got betrayed. And, you know, not that we're happy anything bad happened to them, right, guys? But the sense of justice will be restored. I also see for some of you it's bigger than that. Okay, so I see victory in the justice sense for a lot of people. I feel like with this tower card, though, this is the least scary tower card I've ever seen in my life. And I feel like it's because the figures in this card were cool with the fact that the tower was going to get hit just because they wanted to go for a ride. Which is really cute. And I feel like it also carries this message of like, F this stupid tower. I didn't want to build it anyway. Tear it all down. Like tearing down that exterior that you had up before. Just letting it crumble. Letting everything crumble. Like it's such a liberating feeling. So like for example, let's use an office place example. Any of you work in an office setting of any kind where they do those things called professional development, where they put you in a room with all of your coworkers, whether you want to be there with them or not, and usually you don't want to be there with them, at least not all of them, and then they have a bunch of people in like fancy little outfits come in with big smiles on their faces, and their whole job is to like tell you how to do your job better and how to feel about it. I mean, some people might see that as like a really negative way at looking at professional development, but guess what? I watched it for 13 years and I was not impressed by a single one of those presentations or a single one of those people. The only time I was impressed by any of those people or presentations was when they actually acted like genuine human beings that knew this was all a bunch of malarkey. And, you know, but it pays really well, and I, you know, get my meals paid for too. And I get to stay in cute little hotels. So, I mean, like, I would take that job in a heartbeat, even, you know, 100% knowing it's not real. And be like, I'll just be the one that acts real enough that it makes the people that are having to go to that professional development thing want to vomit just a little bit less, maybe. But I digress. I feel like, say you're in one of those professional development settings. You're going to want to skip this if you've never been in one of those. And like, you're doing the marshmallow and pasta stick exercise. For those of you unfamiliar, they put you into groups like you're in elementary school. They go, everybody count off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all the 5s over here and all the 4s over here. And everybody goes to their spot and you're like, no, I don't want to be with her. Ah. And there you are, stuck with your new 5 best friends, and you're gonna put together a tower of marshmallow and spaghetti without breaking a stick, and you all have to touch each other's toes to each other while you do it, and say nice things to each other while you're doing it, and reflect on your entire life and career while working together, using only your partner to your left fingertips to build a mountain of marshmallow and spaghetti. And whoever got their mountain higher and didn't fight with each other, well, they got to win. And whatever they won was something really stupid, like people blowing really annoying whistles and clapping really loud. Like we all want to hear that when we're hungover because we finally just said F it and got drunk the night before because, you know, we knew we were going to have to go to this and we knew it was going to suck. So we figured that the night before it didn't have to suck too, right? Good times. So my point is that let's say that you actually are really trying to put your soul into that very crucial team building exercise of building a stupid marshmallow and spaghetti
castle of some kind that's very tall. It's just got to be taller than everybody else's. And you got to do it using the other person's fingers and touching their toes. Whatever. You really want to win for some reason. You decide that you cared about it this time. And I don't care who you are. If you've been in a situation, like an office setting situation where you're in a professional development thing, you did. You at some point were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to like be a team player and just like, I'm going to put my all into this friggin' marshmallow castle. I'm going to end up cussing and I don't even care anymore because it's going to happen. Pile 4, you might want to run now because this monologue, but with this tower card, it's getting longer and longer with this story. So you might have started caring. Pretend that you cared about this particular activity with the marshmallows and the spaghetti. And let's pretend that the marshmallows and the spaghetti are much bigger and heavier than like they normally would be. And the person to your left is more useless than the person to your right. None of them care. And you're just trying. The rest of them start bickering. And now it's not even about the marshmallow castle anymore. It's about whatever, Shelley did to Martha 6 months ago. And they're just really hashing it out now. Okay. And you're really trying to be the one that holds everything up. You're trying and it's slipping and you're trying and it's heavy and you're trying. The whole point of this big, long, stupid story is that there's a satisfaction in letting go of the marshmallows and spaghetti and just letting that malarkey just fall to the floor where it belonged in the first place. It has nothing to do with computers or funding, or well, it has a lot to do with funding, but they're just not going to talk about that. And yeah, when it all falls apart, let's take another scenario. Let's say you're in that same situation and you watch the facilitators, the people that are in the little smart outfits that are telling you how to do stuff with big smiles on their faces. Watch them fall apart at one of those. That's fun. Watch the whole thing just descend into chaos and watch the people that are at that thing they're supposed to be being taught by these guys just turn against them like rabid dogs. Now I laughed at that, right? Not because they got torn limb from limb and they beat them to death with their own shoes. But, I'm just kidding, that didn't really happen. But what was satisfying about it was watching that whole tower come down. You see what I'm saying? There's a beauty in some destruction, and I feel like there's a structure in your life that you're more than happy to see crumble because it was a crappy building to begin with. Moving on. I knew I was going to push this one to a longer one somehow. Pile 2 totally got cheated. Okay. Because I love how she's doing her own thing. Like, look at her little crown. It's like cemetery gates. And her little, like, pentacle star is a barn star, and it's upside down, which actually is not a satanic symbol of evil. It's originally supposed to be a symbol of not being afraid of protecting yourself when you're doing your magic. Like protecting yourself with secrecy, protecting yourself from like people finding out who you are and coming after you with the, torches and the pitchforks and the, head swing that they want to put you in, or the, marshmallow pit that they want you to stand in the middle of for being you. She's thriving in that energy that she's created for herself. And I love that there's no people around her still, and she's perfectly content and happy. Okay, it's because she did this for herself. And I see that happening for you in the next 5 months, just really taking into your own, and it'll bring nothing but abundance to you. The Sun's the best card to get. It's the lottery card of the tarot deck. You keep rocking how you're rocking, and that's all you're going to get is good, abundant, glow up, fabulous, rich, baby. If you're like, oh, I don't need to be rich, you're not aiming high enough. Rookie numbers, you need to push those numbers up. Okay. I'm quoting a lot of movies here, guys. Anytime you want to drop one of those in the comment section and prove to me that you actually like movies too, please do that. Let's see what else is coming towards you. These guys. What else? Hi. Yes. Okay. What is this? Ooh. And look, he has the same little like crown of flames around his head that the guy way back here with the sneak had. Remember way back in the long, long ago when we were different people and we started this reading? And I was totally a different person before the whole tower thing happened. The people that skipped are like, maybe I should go back and watch the whole, 10 minutes of tower talk and whatever the heck she did with that. I feel like you're just chilling because like this other part of you, and I feel like it is kind of your shadow self, is protecting you now. Like, don't F with me. I don't even have to worry about what you're doing because I've got this right here. Taking care of everything. It's almost like this separateness of yourself of like, I know what time it is. So I'm just going to zen out over here, stay over there, and I won't kill you. So much violence. I'm speaking metaphorically, of course. Violence is never the answer. Your root. Interesting. Instead of like branching out, they're going deep. And I feel like that's what you're doing. Notice the red color and how it's connected to the bottom portion of the person's body. The root chakra is right there where you sit. Okay. And so the fact that that's growing out, we got like the thinking man pose. I feel like you're just like, you're branching out, but you're branching deep. Instead of branching out, trying to like look for people, you're like branching in deep, rooting in deep, I should say. Okay. Oh, long. Interesting. I want to see the other ones before I comment on that one. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Woo, Nikki. These are later on. We'll get to this later. Okay. It's a lot to unpack here, so let's get to it. Where do we start? The root. Okay. This card is like, it's like your guide's saying, like, people only see what you show them. People only see what you allow them to see. If any of you are worried about some kind of exposure of some sort, or people gossiping about you, just stop telling anyone anything. And that includes those close people that you think are your friends. They might still be your friends, but everybody has flaws and everybody talks, right? So that bothers you. Don't disclose what you don't want to be judged for or what you don't want to discuss. All right, moving along. Yeah, I feel like when you do that, you box yourself in, and that's like it's a weird little like message off from the side. But you do show energy of being somebody who gets bothered by other people and their opinions. It's okay. I do too. But what's interesting is that you know that that's a problem and that you want to get rid of that. And so you are. And like one of the main things that your guides, that's just like a little tip of like, they only know what you say. They only know what you show. Everything else is speculation or pure fabrication. And I feel like you knowing that is like creating this cocoon around you. And I saw it with this other card over here somewhere where the guy's kind of like curled up in a little ball, but he looks like very protected. I feel that from this card as well. And also learning to know yourself better. Again, that concealing but still seeing for what it really is. There's nothing shady about you just like keeping to yourself. You don't have to declare yourself to anyone or your plans or justify anything that you're doing. That's a big new energy for you in the next 5 months, I'm feeling. And it's a big one for me too. Let's keep on cruising. Let's get these guys next. You're heading towards ecstasy is what I'm seeing with this card. This card feels like to me like she's in ecstasy. Like there are some tears on her cheeks, but I feel like it's a relief and a release that she's feeling in this card. And not like a suffering that she's holding on to. So I feel like that's something also that you're going to come into your power with is being able to let go of the things that cause you distress, from the littlest thing to the biggest thing, like from the biggest things to like the most upsetting stuff that you've seen in the news that affects everybody, to the littlest pettiest thing, like somebody giving you a dirty look in a checkout line. This card, it's like his little ankles got broken. You still have healing that you're doing, and your guides are reminding you to take it slow. You're doing so much. You don't have to do it all today. That's important to remember. Let's put that there. Empress vibes with this card. Notice too how most of the tree or the figure here, that's very nude, that she's mostly under the ground as well. That deep-rooted, deep thinking energy, right? Going inward instead of outward, seeking approval. Going inward and seeking your own approval. Seeking approval from your creator for your own satisfaction and not the satisfaction of others. And then we also have this freedom and change that comes about with it, of like spreading your wings and just moving forward into the world with your newfound wisdom and your strength. We're going to get some more what you're moving into. Fennel number 19, there is nothing to fear. Trust that everything will work itself out. Yes, if you start feeling doubtful or fearful about all this change that you're bringing, one thing that I feel like might be a fear for some is loneliness, because you're cutting out so much negativity from other people that sometimes people feel like they went for the gusto a little too hard and now they're just going to be alone. Like, where's that fine line between having boundaries and not compromising your own satisfaction and safety and comfort for the sake of having someone in your life? I feel like that's a big hurdle for a lot of you watching this pile. Your guides are saying don't fear the loneliness. You're not going to feel lonely. You're going to feel less lonely than you ever did when you were surrounded by people that made you feel lonely like that. Let's just put it that way. Okay, this one on the bottom caught my eye. Community service. The balm to your wounds lives in the spark that radiates love and brings healing to the world. What was I talking about with like being yourself is going to be your greatest gift to the world? Somebody has a doggo. Something about somebody's doggo. Interesting. I feel like that's your biggest charity that you're giving, is just like unleashing your own actual authentic self into the world. That's probably the best gift that anybody can give the world. Start there. But if you want to meet new friends because you're feeling isolated, charity work in areas where you feel like you actually care about what you're doing there is a wonderful way to meet like-minded people of your soul tribe. Yes. Okay. We have bushels of apples. Number 3, invite your truth forward and invoke the power of healing, growth, and the true essence of who you are. Geez Louise, it's like we're on a recurring theme here. I feel like some of you have a friend coming into your life. Like a comrade. Like not romantic, but somebody who stands by you. Craftsmanship, number 14, empower yourself with the knowledge that each challenge brings you closer to mastery. You are going to face challenges as you go through this huge change. It's all just learning experiences. Be creative about it. Don't look at things like failures. Look at things as like, oh, that was an interesting experiment. Let's try it a different way next time. Farmhouse number 17. The time has come for a greater sense of belonging and harmony within and all around you. I feel like so many of you were hoping and looking for harmony in groups of people, and that's a fleeting thing to find. And so finding harmony within yourself and then radiating that out is a better plan is what I'm hearing with that card. Finding that community within yourself is so important. And I know that that sounds like me telling you to isolate. And even while I'm saying this to you, I'm wondering if I'm projecting because I have lived an isolated life. Even when I was doing the 9 to 5, I was still very isolated. So, not trying to project. I think a lot of times I just end up relating really hard to the messages that come through, and that's why they end up getting through to me. I think that's how it works. But anyway, like she's having a relationship with like, but it's the same dog. Dudes. It's the exact same dog. What? Okay, that's not a coincidence. I mean, I know the same artist drew all these cards and they're all for like the theme of like a season, but seriously, that is flipping nuts. Okay, moving along. Sunburst number 37. Embrace your inner light and share it with the world, inspiring others to do the same. Yes! You don't even have to go do charity and stand in a soup line if you don't want to. I can't. I'm allergic to soup. So there's other ways that you can be giving and ways that you can do community and ways that you can give service. And that really is just by being yourself and like agreeing not to hurt anyone. I mean, honestly, it's the greatest gift you can give. And then welcoming the harvest number 43. Expect growth and expansion as your hard work has paid off. It's time to celebrate. So that's how you're going to feel at the end of this last chunk of the year, is feeling like you want to celebrate because you've accomplished so much. Beautiful energy, you guys. Let's get just a few more tarot cards for you, because everybody else got some, although I feel like a broken record telling you all the same things over and over again. 2 of coins. There is going to be some juggling and adjustment that goes on, so don't freak, okay? 3 of wands. All your plans are going to come together swimmingly. Your hard work is going to pay off. What you're waiting for and have been watching for patiently is coming towards you. Knight of Cups. Good offers are going to be made to you. You're not going to lose and become alone. You're going to attract in the people that deserve you. That is what I'm hearing across the board. And like, it's so crazy that all the piles have had like that same transformative like energy. It shows that a lot of you viewers are really working hard on your lives. We have 4 of Cups. This one I feel like don't daydream too long. There's a lot of stuff you can put into practice now. I know I said you don't have to do it all overnight, and you don't. But do 1 thing or 2 things here and there. Just be mindful of this experience. This one. And yes, any burdens that you're feeling because of this change will soon be lifted. Okay, I just want 1 more card. King of Swords. Yep, all the challenges coming towards you, you will be able to overcome them as long as you just steadfastly hang on to this beautiful energy that you're cultivating, my friends. Thank you so much for being here today. If you enjoyed this and found it helpful, tell me how it was helpful in the comments section. You can give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. We will see you in the next one. My wonderful soul friends, take care. Bye.